Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyanmanjari Vidyapith for the students of Standard 9 in which we are learning the subject of English. Students, from previous lecture we started with one of the new chapter. So let us take a quick recap of what we have learned. We started with the one chapter from the supplementary reader, that is Moments, chapter number 7. Name of the chapter is The Last Leaf, and The Last Leaf is a very good short story written by O. Henry. In the previous lecture also we'll be discussing about the author, but not right now. At the end of the chapter, yes, once we are aware of the story, then only we can understand the greatness of that author, right? So up till now we learned that there are two girls who live in an apartment, and uh, they are youngsters and quite interested in arts, and both of them have come from the nearby village to this town, as this town gives more prospects. They are young girls, more interested in arts, painting, etc. They are learning, they're making paintings, and whatever paintings they make, they display on the streets, and there are of course buyers for these type of arts, and these pieces of arts people purchased, and that is how these two girls are surviving. So one of the girl falls sick, and she is sick with pneumonia. We are talking about those days when there was not that much scientific development in the field of medicine. Medicine field had not developed that much, and people used to die because of common disease also, because no proper medication was available. The doctors were there, it's not that, but somehow maybe the same medicine was used for multiple disease, and if it worked, then the life of the person is saved, and uh, no, then the person dies, right? So we are talking in those days when medical science had not developed that much, and uh, during this time the girl falls sick, and she's so much depressed that she doesn't want to live, right? And the other girl, she has to, because they are room partners, right? So she has to take care of that girl, and she very much loves that girl because they are of the same age, they are room partners, and you got to take care of your room partner. Plus, you have been together for such a long time, so automatically it becomes a moral duty for that other girl to give company to the girl who is sick, and she even fetches a doctor, and the doctor comes and examines on a continuous basis. But the girl who is sick just lie down on the bed, keeps on looking out of the window, and the winter is fast approaching, autumn is already there, and the girl is told by the doctor that it looks that the medicine is not working. This was explained earlier also, a very good paragraph, that whatever medications are there, that is for the body, but the body does what the mind tells, right? So mind is very important. If the person has made up the mind that somehow anyhow I want to live, even with just a small tip of a medication, she's going to be all right. But here, the mind has already accepted that I am having this disease, I will not come out of disease, and that is why the mind does not allow the body to respond to the medicine. So the doctor becomes aware. He is a doctor, and such a lot of experience he has with lots of patients. So he immediately recognizes this thing and has a word with the other girl, that it seems I'm giving the correct medicine, because that same medicine I give to other pneumonia patients, they become all right. Yes, it takes, depends upon the patient. Some takes maybe 1 week, some may take 2 weeks, but then they become all right. Here, I do not see any response to the medicine that I am giving, any response to the treatment that I am giving, and that is why I think that uh, she doesn't want to get well, right? So doctor, in a very good language, tells that girl that perhaps she has lost the hope to live, and somehow, anyhow, that hope should be revived. Only then my medicines will work. So we have learned till there, and now let us go ahead with the chapter. Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. There are lots of things of interest. Okay, you are sick, but then you have lots of other things to you. Even if you are in bed, you can keep on reading. Yes, you can talk to someone. Johnsy is there to talk to Sue. Then Sue must talk to Johnsy. So sorry, Johnsy is sick. So Johnsy, on her own, she should be trying to talk with Sue. Yes, because Sue also has to go outside on errands. Whatever painting she has made, she has to go and deliver it and sell it so that she gets money. That is how these two girls are surviving, right? So Sue tried her best so that Johnsy thinks that company is there. Even when talking, a lot of things that you have in your heart, you have in your mind. If there is a friend of your age, one of your best friend, then you can always tell things to your friend and heave out all the things from your heart. Then you will feel relaxed, relieved, relief, and that is when that medicine is going to work. So Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. She talked about clothes and fashion. So whenever Sue was with in that room with Johnsy, she tried to talk on all possible subjects. Sometimes you are out of subjects. This then also you just crack jokes, tell some story. You just sort of play with your partner so that in one thing or another soon she starts taking interest, and when you start taking interest, that is where that hope grows. So she talked about clothes and fashions, but Johnsy did not respond at all. She might just close her eyes, yes, and uh, she might just shut off the ears so that, or just keep on lying there. Sue keeps on talking, but Johnsy is not listening, keeps on staring out of the window. So somehow she doesn't want to take interest in anything. She has lost interest in everything in the life. And, but Johnsy did not respond. Johnsy continued to lie still on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board into Johnsy's room and started painting. Now, they might have kept another room over there. Yes, it was a flat, so there might be other rooms. Yes, one room might be of Johnsy, another room might be of Sue. Both of them had their independent bedrooms. So Sue, instead of drawing in her own room, painting in her own room, she brought the board and the stand and the canvas and all the paint material and brushes and all that, and she started doing her job in Johnson's room so that there is some liveliness going on. Okay, you can just keep watching someone drawing, painting. That is good enough. Yes, your time passes easily, right? And sometimes maybe you speak a word or two, or just keep on watching. Then also it is better because on canvas there are colors. Colors colors are what make our life interesting. Yes, if everything was just dull, black and white, yes, or gray, it doesn't sound good, right? So we know the cement that we use when a new house is made. Outside of the house, the plaster is done. It is of cement color, gray color. Gray color somehow relates to sadness. Yes, we do not like the look of it, and that is why we change the color to different things. First thing we do is whitewash. White is a color which attracts our eyes even from far away, right? It reflects the wards of the heat by warding of the sunlight, right? But then it shines, sparkle. Whatever it shines and sparkle, that is what makes the life interesting. So Sue brought her drawing board into Johnsy's room and sat over there, or standing, she might be, doing the painting. And what was in her mind is that Johnsy, instead of looking out of the window, might look at her painting. Yes, give a word or two, exchange a word or two. Yes, what you're doing over here is wrong. That color seems to be out of place. So do something. But Johnsy is still not responding. She just lies on her bed still. So Sue brought her drawing board into Johnson's room and started painting. To take Jones's mind off her illness, she whistled while working. She tried her best, right, so that she arouses some type of interest in Jones's mind. And while painting, she's already doing one work which can attract Johnsy, because Johnsy herself is a aspiring painter. So she'll be looking on to what is being painted by Sue and might get interested, and to while away the time to because two things are there. These things of arts, for example, drawing, sketching, painting, music, these are the things that are made by men, human beings, and that is what we human beings are very, very good at, because these things have to be coming from inside of the art, and which gives us aesthetic pleasure. Understand, aesthetic pleasure, which gives us inner joy. Yes, you make a beautiful painting, you think it is beautiful, okay, we also accept that is beautiful, you put it in your room somewhere on the wall, and whenever you get up in the morning, you have a look at that painting, your day goes very good, because you see a beautiful painting of some, say, sunrise, or some Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, or some any other beautiful painting, right? That is why people keep lots of paintings, lots of attractive things in their rooms, in their drawing rooms, uh, so that when they look at it, they get an aesthetic pleasure. These are all the forms of arts that give us aesthetic pleasure, right? So over so in order to draw Johnson's attention, she also starts whistling, so that the sound of music, that it fills you with inner joy, and automatically when there is joy, the tension on your mind, the thoughts on your mind are just vanishing. And that is the moment when those medicines need that much little time to treat you, and you will feel good because the medicine is working. So that is what Sue, she's not a doctor, but then she wants to keep her friend busy in one way or another, so that whatever tension, whatever thoughts in her mind are, they just vanish, and she feels happy, and that is how she will recover soon. Suddenly, Sue heard Johnsy whisper something. So, after all these days, for the first time, Sue heard as if Johnsy is saying something, but in a very low voice. That is a whisper. What's a whisper? Very unclear, low sound is called a whisper. So, Sue heard Johnsy whisper something. So, she bolted upright. If she was sitting over there, she bolted upright, and if she was standing, her attention is toward Johnsy, and she ran over to the bed near and put her ear near the mouth of Johnsy, so that she can hear what is she saying. She quickly rushed to the bed and heard Johnsy counting backwards. So when she listened carefully to what was Johnsy saying, she heard that Johnsy was counting backwards. Yes, counting backwards is known as a countdown, right? It's related to some action. Otherwise, you are just counting, but the number is continuously decreasing in a sequential manner. So she was counting backwards. She was looking out of the window and saying 12. After some time, she would whisper 11, and then 10, and then 9, 8, 7. So she's looking out of the window. Now, she is sleeping on the window. She's lying on the bed and looking out of the window. Now, Sue is also standing over there. So the two visions of what they see is different. Yes, Johnsy is looking at something and counting backwards, whereas the same thing Sue is trying to see, but she is not able to understand what is this backward counting that is done by Johnsy. So it started with 12 and it came down to 7. Sue anxiously looked out of the window, and she saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick wall opposite their window. These are some of the very famous, you can say, buildings that are located in England, France, most of Europe. That brick walls will be there, and some creeper will be climbing onto it, and people grow this creeper so that whole of the wall is covered with those green creepers, and it gives a very decent look to your building. most of these houses, they are made up of stone, and it becomes very easy for the climber to climb up, and they give some support also so that the climber can climb up properly. These plants, yes. So what is the name of that plant? Ivy creeper, right? So when Sue saw outside the window, all she could see was an ivy creeper which was climbing up the wall, halfway up the wall, the opposite brick wall of the window, halfway up, halfway middle of the, say, somewhere near around the room, not the complete height. So in the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaves. And we know already it was autumn, so leaves are going to fall because now it's going to winter. And in these parts, especially the European countries, uh, when the autumn is over, then the winter starts. And when it is autumn, it's already very cold outside, and the plants and trees and vegetation, they very soon recognize the change in the climate, and they start shedding their leaves. In autumn, most of the trees will become bare, most of these plants will shed away all their leaves and become bare, right? Bare means only branches will be seen, no greenery will be seen. It is for the matter of preserving that water which is in them, because when snow falls, everything will turn into ice. The ground also will be icy cold. Yes, on ground there will be snow and ice. So the coldness seeps inside also, and might be not frozen, but the water will be too cold, and outside sunlight will be very less. So the leaves will not be able to produce energy, and the water is already turning into ice and very cold water. So the plant or tree, the roots will not be able to suck up that water. Moisture will become less, it will be condensed, and that is why the roots cannot supply water to the plant. So the plant or tree conserves the water, whatever water it has. Yes, now the leaves will be using up water, so they shed their leaves so that water is not used by leaves. As a very simple method followed by the trees and plants, that is vegetation. So there were strong winds outside, and all she can see is a creeper halfway up on the opposite wall, brick wall, and that was the only thing that uh, John C. was able to see lying on the bed. So, when outside, the creeper was shedding the leaves. That is what you can see. Very few leaves hanging over there, because whole of the creeper is now empty. Otherwise, there is a whole wall full of leaves. Now the creeper has shed almost all the leaves, so very few leaves are hanging on the creeper. What is it, dear? Sue asked. Sue was not clear what's the counting that is being done by John C. So she asked John C., what is it, dear? 6. Now, again, last time it was 7. Now it is 6. 6, whispered John C. They are falling faster now. So all these days, John C. had been looking at the creeper outside, and it was quite interesting. Just before a few days, the creeper might be full of leaves, but as soon as the autumn, spring and autumn both are quite small seasons, right? So very fast, the as soon as the cold keeps on increasing, the vegetation recognizes that cold and starts stopping. It stops giving water to the leaves, so that the leaves cannot remain green. And when the water stops, the leaves start turning into yellow, orange, whatever shades of colors they are for autumn. And when it is ripe, that means that now the leaf is dead because water is stopped by the tree or branch or the um, plant. So what happens is it becomes dead, and as soon as it becomes dead, it detaches itself from the tree and falls down. So that is exactly what John C. was saying. 6. They are falling very fast now. Few days ago, whole of the creeper was full with leaves. I couldn't count them, but now only few are remaining, and now I can count them. Staring from here, looking at them, I can count them. And from 12, now they are 6. 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves. So just 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves on those on that creeper. Now it has come down to below 50, below 50 to below 25, and below 25 to below 12, 10, and now it is there are only 6 leaves. There are only 5 left now. 6th all also fallen. Now there are 5 leaves only. So Sue was not able to understand why she was counting the leaves that are falling and the total number of leaves that are on the creeper. It is autumn. For Sue, it was quite normal because everyone knows in autumn the leaves are shed by the trees and plants. So it is no big deal. Yes, they will be fall. It's nature. Nature is working, right? And it's very good to see the nature working on time. So you don't have to worry. It's quite normal. Why are you worrying about it? It's autumn. It's natural for the leaves to be shed by the tree and plant. It is autumn and the leaves will fall. Yes, you can't do anything. You can't go and फेविकोल लगा के वापस चिपका नहीं सकते. चिपक तो जाएगा लेकिन green नहीं होगा, right? So that way, it's nature. It's working, right? And right now it is autumn, so there is nothing new about it. Yes, the leaves will fall. When the last leaf falls, I will die. Now, Chauncey, that is why she was counting backwards. Now, we know the truth. What is the truth? It's quite a bitter truth. She was comparing her days with the leaves on the creeper. 3 days ago, there were 100, right? So, for the last, why is she giving up hope to live? It is because she is continuously seeing that same picture in front of her through the window, that the leaves, they are just falling. Same way, her days are also counting backwards. 3 days ago, there was hope, but now she counts her life with the leaves remaining on the plant. So, in 3 days, the creeper is almost finished with the leaves. Only 5 leaves are hanging. So, she says a very beautiful sentence: when the last leaf falls, the creeper will not be dead. Please understand that. The creeper will not be dead. It will just shed its leaves. As soon as that harsh winter is over, as soon as the snow starts melting, as soon as the sunshine becomes more clear, as soon as the water under the ground becomes not hot but warm a little bit because of the heat of the sun, that is when the roots will start picking up that water and the creeper will be flooded with water, and that is what the creeper or the tree needs. Water is again revived and they will start growing new leaves, new tender leaves out of the creeper. But right now, what is happening? She is comparing herself with the last leaf of the creeper. When the last leaf falls, I'll die. John C. said with finality. Finality, there was some firmness in the voice. That is called finality. With that means there is some decision. She has made the decision that I will no longer live when the last leaf has fallen. She is giving herself some time limit for living. As soon as she sees the last leaf fall, she has already lost hope of living, and that will be the last moment that she will live. She is just waiting for the last leaf to fall. As soon as it falls, she will be dead. That is what she has decided. I know this. I have known this for the last 3 days. Since the last 3 days, she was sick and on the bed. She was continuously seeing the reduction of leaves, or the number of leaves becoming less and less on the creeper. More and more leaves were falling. Same way, more and more hours. 3 days, 36. More than that. Yes, 24. So, she counts backward. Yes, and now she says that since the last 3 days, I had so many hours to live, but my hours are becoming less and less. Yes, I don't have to live more because the creeper has shared from hundreds of leaves. It has come down to now 5. So I also don't have much time. I have lived in all these 3 days, and I know I will not survive when the last leaf falls. So Sue was not able to understand the logic or the reason with which John C. was saying all this. So Sue says, that's a nonsense. How can you compare your life with a leaf? You cannot compare like that, right? What happens if the last leaf falls right now? Are you going to die right now? So all that is crap. All that is nonsense. You don't believe on those things. What have what have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? The doctor is confident that you will get better. Is the ivy creeper doesn't have a doctor, right? If the ivy creeper was growing inside the house, the inside of the house is warm, it will keep on growing. Even there will be no autumn, no spring for for that creeper because it's growing inside the house. Because it's growing outside the house, that is why it's affected by the climate, and it will change itself. It will do the nature's work, right? We are not vegetation. We are human being, right? And nothing has happened to you. It's only pneumonia, and the doctor is already giving you treatment. And the good now she speaks a lie because the doctor told her that this condition would become serious if she loses hope of living, and if she has made up her mind to die, my medicine can't help her. So you have to make her take interest in life. Here Sue is lying. She says the doctor is confident that you will get better. So Johnsy didn't say anything. Yes, because she understands that Sue will not be able to uh, grasp what she wants to take, what she wants to say, because she compares her life with that uh, last leaf. Yes, and she's just waiting for that. As soon as the last leaf will fall, I'll die. Johnsy didn't say anything. Sue went and brought her a bowl of soup. So it was her food time. So usually sick people are given lots of soup that is liquid, and all the vitamins and all the stuff in it that's going to revive the energy, because when we are sick, we usually take liquids so that it's easy for the stomach to digest, and it becomes easy for the rest of the organs to take whatever they want, and so it gives us more energy rather than eating some hard stuff. Right? So a bowl of soup was given by Sue to Johnsy. I don't want any soup, said Johnsy. I'm not hungry. Now there are only 4 leaves left. I want to see the last leaf fall before it gets dark, then I'll sleep forever. Right? So, uh, we all know when you don't eat when you are sick, you become more weak. And that is exactly what Jones is doing. Soup was brought by Sue, but then she did not take the soup. She said, I'm not hungry. I'm just waiting. Now there were 5 leaves. Now there are only 4. That means one more has fallen away, and there are only 4 left now. I want to see the last one fall. Yes, you don't disturb me. I'm sipping the soup, and the last leaf will fall. I won't know. Yes, I look out of the window. I actually want to see that leaf leaving the plant. Right? So she doesn't want to get disturbed right now. Only 4 are left, and the speed with which the leaves are going away, the speed with which the wind is blowing away, the last leaf will very soon be shedded by the creeper, and then the creeper will be lifeless. Because without leaves, a tree will look lifeless. It's dead. Yes, we understand. From inside, it's not dead. But do we like to see any tree without leaves? Right? No, they look like skeletal. Right? So we don't want to see that. Right? We want to see green green tree, lush green tree with all the leaves, yes, and the birds chirping, and small animals is playing hide and seek over there. We like to see that is what life is. Yes. Now, a bare tree without any leaf, we don't want to see that, right? कौवा काव काव करता होगा उसके ऊपर. We don't want to see that. So she rejects or refuses to take the soup given by Sue, and she says it's going to get dark. Please don't disturb. I want to see the last leaf fall. And as soon as the last leaf will fall, I'll go asleep, and then in sleep I'll die. That means I'll sleep forever. Sue sat on Johnsy's bed, kissed her, and said, You are not going to die. I can't draw the curtain, for I need the light. I want to finish the painting and get some money for us, please, my dear friend. right? Don't be so stubborn. What Sue is actually meaning is don't be so stubborn. Is don't give up hope for life, right? Take this soup. It's going to give you energy. The medicine that you are taking that needs this energy. Yes, and I got a lot of things to do. We need to survive. How are we going to survive? I have to finish a painting, right? Someone has ordered me to do some particular painting. I got to finish that painting on time and deliver it to him so that I can get money. If I get money, I can pay to the doctor, I can pay for your medicine, I can pay for your food, I got to pay rent, right? So I need money. Please understand, my friend. So she kisses Johnsy on her cheeks, maybe on her forehead. That is that is a soothing way, right, to calm you down. You're much tense, and mother comes and uh, just puts her hand on your head. That is more than enough. The tension that you have flows out of your head onto your mother's hand, and then you who are feeling so much depressed, you automatically get relieved from that depress a little bit, and that is when you start thinking in some positive manner. So this is just a heartfelt touch that was given by Sue to Johnsy, so that she gets relieved, that she finds someone is loving her, someone is taking care of her, and that is what exactly Sue wanted to. If you keep on doing like this, if you give me tension, I will not be able to, because the tension on the head is going to affect that painting and drawing, because Sue's mind will not be on the painting, it will be on Johnsy, and then maybe if the painting goes wrong somewhere, now she'll have to do it all over again, right? Or take much time. So she says, please understand the worldly matters. Please see that we don't have money. We are just young artists. Yes, somebody has given me a painting to draw, and I got to finish it in time so that I can give it to him or whoever the client is, and I can get some money and we can survive. I need that money. She begged Johnsy, promise me not to look out of the window while I paint. If you keep on looking so pale, so distressed, in pain, yes, and you just keep on listlessly looking out of the window and keep on looking when that leaf will fall, I won't be able to concentrate on the painting. I'll always be attracted towards you, and that's going to disturb me and my work. Just promise me till I finish the painting, don't look out of the window. All right, said Johnsy, finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. We see that Johnsy, even when she's lying on the bed, she is thoughtful about her friend, because her friend is doing such a lot of things for her. Yes, so she needs to reciprocate a little bit. She needs to give back a little thing. What the friend is not asking much. Sue is not asking much. Sue is just asking her not to look out of the window till she finishes the painting. I cannot draw the curtains. Yes, because that will shut off the light. I need that light. Yes, electricity was not there in those days, right? So I need that light. Yes, you are looking out of the window. I can draw the curtains. Yes, that will shut off all the light. Then how am I going to draw? So I can't do that. I have to keep the window open. So you got to promise me not to keep looking out of the window so that I can finish my painting. I'll be assured that you are not looking out of the window and you will not see the last leaf fall. I want to see the last leaf. So Johnsy says, you finish your painting, I promise you. Till then I won't, but finish it quickly, because now only 4 leaves are left, and I don't think the last leaf will survive till the evening or the dark, and it's going to fall. So finish your painting. I want to see the last leaf fall. I'm tired of waiting. Because this line is also quite important, because she's tired of waiting. It's written over here. Actually, it should be leaving. Living. Yes, she's tired of living. And that might be true, because she's not responding to medicines. She has lost all hopes for living. She doesn't want to live. She thinks she'll die of this disease, and there is no interest in the world for whatsoever reasons. She has given up the hope to live, right? So she says, I'm tired of waiting. Yes, I don't want to wait. There are only 4 leaves left over there, right? Soon, one, two, three leaves will fall, and then it's the turn of the last leaf. Yes, I'm tired of waiting, because she has been counting those from hundreds to 4 leaves. So she is now tired of counting, waiting. I have to die. Yes, I have made up my mind. As soon as that last leaf falls, I have to die. So let me go away peacefully like one of those poor tired leaves. The leaves also, now no water is given by the plant. Yes, the leaf is turning yellow, pale. It's just dangling and fluttering in the wind. But the leaf also, it's a living thing. So it wants to be with the creeper. But the creeper itself is giving it away. So at last, the leaf is dead, and the leaf gets tired. Why does the leaf fall? It gets tired of waiting for life, and when no life is given by the plant, the leaf becomes dead and falls down. So same way, I am also tired of life. I don't want to live anymore. I'm just waiting. This is just a cause, just the reason. Yes, the last leaf is off, and I will also die. So please let me die peacefully. Yes, let me make peace with the creeper. As soon as the creeper sheds away its last leaf, same way I will shed away my life, and I'll be dead. So just like those poor tired leaves, I am also quite tired of the life. I also want to die, but let me die peacefully. So she doesn't understand the reason or logic with which the other girl is talking, but just assures her, try to sleep. I have to paint an old miner. I'll call Behman to be up for my model. So what I'm drawing, what is the theme of the painting? It's an old miner. Yes, miner is a person who works in the mine, is basically a laborer. He goes down the shaft and does the mining work. Usually in those days, coal was the necessity, so there were lots of coal mines. So, and lots of other minerals were taken out of the ground with the help of the mine. So, a miner usually who works under the ground and brings the mineral up. So basically, she's drawing an old miner and needs an old man. So I'll go and call Behman to be my model. So Behman is an old person, not looking like a miner, but he's old. He will have wrinkles on the face. Yes, he'll be a shabby looking person. So the uh, the girl just wants the neighbor, that is Behman, to be seated over there. So she at least have some live face to look at and do some similar painting on the canvas. So rushed down, Behman lived on the ground floor, right? So a neighbor living in the same flat. So I'll go and fetch Behman to sit for a while over here, right? And uh, I can look at him and make my painting complete. Who was Mehman now? He was a 60-year-old painter. So everybody, right? All the artists lived in that same flat. So Mehman was a 60-year-old painter. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece. So you are now 14, 15 years of age. Right now, many of you might be having that hobby of painting. So from 15 years, you keep on painting whenever you have time, and now 60. So you can understand how many years have gone by pursuing that art. By now, you should have some success. One of your paintings should have made lots of news and must have been sold at quite a lot of price, giving you prize money, right? So lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece. When your painting goes at quite a high price, when it is a masterpiece, one of the best. What's a masterpiece? One of the best piece created by you is called masterpiece, right? So all his life, he's 60 years old now, but still he was not able to make a masterpiece, right? So all the artists, their only and only dream is to get a break by making a masterpiece, so that that masterpiece brings name and fame. So his dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had remained a dream. He became 60, but that masterpiece never happened. Sue poured out her worries to Behman. So now Sue goes to Behman and tells him everything. Right, since last 3-4 days, Johnsy is sick and she's not responding to the medicines. The doctor said all this, and she wants to die. She doesn't want to live, given up all the hope, and keeps on looking outside and counts the leaf backwards, right? And now only 3-4 leaves are remaining, and she says that if the last leaf falls, I'll die. So she bursts out all those things, yes, which was uh, making her go crazy, because she was not able to concentrate on her work. And on the other side, the work is not that important, the friend is more important, and the friend is losing all hope to live. So she spat out, poured out all the worries to Burma. Now, we should remember that that is a 60-year-old person, and that also an artist. So he's at least, he's old age, 60 years, so he's very wise, right? She told him how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. So everything, she blurted out everything, poured out all her worries to that 60-year-old person, Berman, who was also a painter. Is she stupid? Said Berman. Now, Berman also, he was man of the world. Yes, nothing to do with all these illogical things. Yes, lastly, chala jayega to main mar jaऊं. No, that doesn't make sense. Are you stupid? Has she gone mad? Has she gone nuts? Is she stupid? Said Berman. Oh, how can she be so foolish? A young girl, say 17, 18, 19 years. Yes, can you be so foolish? Yes, the last vehicle will pass in front of my window and I'll die. No, right? So that doesn't work like that. So such a matured girl, and just because of 3-4 days of sickness, you don't say I'm going to die, and that also connect your life with a leaf on the plant and say if that leaf falls away, I'm going to die. So that is foolishness. It's stupid. She's running high temperature. Sue says, because it's pneumonia, so you got to have temperature. So she's running a high temperature. I would like to highlight this thing. We use wrong English many places. Yes, we really use wrong English. Yes, at lots of places. When the temperature in your body is soaring, goes above normal, that is when you feel your body is heated up like anything. Yes, you feel very hot from inside, as if heat doesn't have any escape, right? You keep your mouth open, then also the breath that comes outside is quite heated up. You can feel it actually. Yes, when it passes near your lips, you can feel that hot breath coming out. You know you are running a temperature. Running a temperature means going quite above normal. That means you are sick. So running a high temperature complaints. So she refuses to eat or drink, and that worries me a lot. She's already sick for the last 3-4 days. The doctor is giving medicine, but she's refusing food. Now, when you are sick and you refuse food, your body needs to sustain. You got to take that water, you got to take that medicine, you got to take some food. Yes, only liquid juice and maybe some dal, etc. But then you got to take some food, right? Without food, the medicines also can't help, because your body needs energy. We are alive because we keep on eating and drinking, right? So that's the life, right? We cannot do without food and water. So if you stop taking food and water, the body will recognize it and it cannot bear much, and you will die because you're already sick, and on top of that you stop food and water. So she refuses to eat or drink, and that worries me a lot, right? Whether that leaf will fall or not, that's coming later. But if she stops taking food like this, she won't survive. I will come with you and see John C. Berman said. So Berman said that, okay, right, I'll come with you and see. He's an elderly man, right? Here, elderly man also means a father-like figure. Sometimes that works. Yes, your mama might be, or mother might be, always giving you some threat. Yes, you are afraid of some female elderly person in your family, right? A grandma, grandfather, you listen to someone at least, right? So that is it. So it works, right? So Behman said, okay, I'll come. Here, Behman is to be treated as a fatherly figure because he's going to come and give some advice in some logical way, and perhaps that might then John C. would hear some of it and start eating, drinking, or give up the idea of that last leaf. They tiptoed into the room. Tiptoed into the room, walk without any sound is called tiptoed. For example, the cat, it always tiptoes. It has that fur padding, right? Soft padding, and doesn't make sound. That's tiptoe. When you walk purposely so that you don't make sound while walking, that's called tiptoeing. So they tiptoed into the room. Johnsy was sleeping. She might have fell asleep. Sue drew the curtains together and they went to the next room. Now, light was coming through the window, so Sue draw the curtain. This is yet another thing too. We never say, we say close the window, right? Please keep in mind. We say close the window. Window is to be closed. It has hinges. It can be opened and closed like a door. But you don't say close the curtain. How can curtains be closed? You have to draw it. Either for opening, so you draw open, or you draw open the windows, curtains, or you draw close, right? So drawing the curtains means, in your language, closing the curtains together, two ends meet, so that now, because the curtains are drawn, no light will come from outside. So Sue drew the curtains. That means took the two parts which were away, yes, and pulled them together so that the curtain is filling up the complete window and blocks the light from outside. So Sue drew the windows together, curtains together, and they went to the next room. So because Johnsy was sleeping, right? They didn't want to disturb her, so they go to the next room. That is Johnsy's room. She peeped out through the window. There was only one leaf on the creeper. Now, she goes to her window. Both rooms are adjacent, so both of them can see the same wall outside, right? So when they go to Sue's room, then Sue peeps out through the window and she also sees the same creeper, and now she is astonished, very much worried, because only one last leaf is there on the plant, creeper. Earlier we knew there were four, now three of them shadow, and now only one leaf was on the window. There was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and an icy cold wind was blowing. Enough reason for that last leaf to fall. Yes, wind, it was blowing at great speed, and now along with the wind came the rain, and it was icy cold. Now the leaf cannot survive with so much icy cold rain falling and icy cold wind blowing. It's going to drop any moment and the creeper will be without leaves. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now because wind was blowing, so it was fluttering furiously in the wind. Yes, and the leaf, when it starts becoming dead, when it starts becoming pale yellow, orange, it gets discolors because now chlorophyll is out without water, so the chlorophyll becomes dead and it takes another color, right? It doesn't remain green. It remains green till water is supplied by the roots. Once the water supply is closed, the chlorophyll cells will become dead and they will discolor. So that is actually what happens. Right now, the last leaf is already discolored, yes, and it's almost dead. And on top of that, cold icy winds and cold icy Rain is falling and it's fluttering very furiously in the wind. It looks any moment that last leaf will fall away. Behman also saw that. Behman didn't say a word. He went back to his room. So, along with Sue, Behman also had a peep through the window and saw exactly what he wanted to see. Yes, whatever was described by Sue, he was seeing. And Sue said there were many leaves, 3, 4 leaves were there. But now Behman also can see that there was only one single leaf. Yes, he didn't have any word with Sue. He said, okay, goodbye, and he went down to his room. Johnsy woke up next morning. Now, whole of the, because she is already not having food. Yes, throughout the day. You can't sleep that much throughout the day, right? You'll just keep on tossing and turning, but you can't sleep during the day because that is a physical clock, a body clock that is working. For all these years, we have trained our body to sleep in the night and work during the day. So even if when you are sick, that same body clock keeps on working. It doesn't allow you to sleep 4, 5, 6 hours in the daytime, right? So that is what happened. But now it was evening and then night. So Johnsy was asleep. She didn't have any food and she slept throughout the night without waking up. So Johnsy wakes up in the next morning. In a feeble voice, she asked Sue to draw the curtains. She was nervous. So with this, we complete our today's lecture. Thank you, students.